My name's Calvin Connor, and this is my deck list from EUIC, where I placed in the top 32. So I'm going to go over my Gardevoir Jellicent deck. First off, we have 3 Monkey Dories. Monkey Dories is really the best card in the deck. You need 3 copies of it. Some lists used to play 4 before, but really 3 is kind of where it's at right now for the Jellicent builds. I played 3 copies of Ralts. Some lists end up playing 2 copies of Ralts. It's a little bit greedier, though, against the dark decks. I've noticed a bit that against Absol and some of those dark decks like Marnie's Grimmsnarl, that you really need 3 because it puts a lot of pressure on you to find stretchers or to not have your Gardevoir or Ralts knocked out if you prize one, for example. I ended up playing 1 copy of the Curlia. It's a little bit greedy and high roll but for this version of the deck, I thought it was fine because I'm going to be playing heavily on the rare candies and I'm playing no Evos. So my main strategy against item lock is usually to item lock them back. If you can like knock out a Badoo with a Monkey Dory plus a Frillish, usually you get the items back and then you can use a rare candy. 2 Gardevoir, pretty standard. You really can't play less than that. And then I ended up playing 2 of the Frillish and 1 of the Jellicent. Pretty standard for that as well. Some lists have played 2 Jellicent as well to try to get to the second Jellicent quicker. Because in mirror match sometimes and against Dragapult specifically, it's really strong to get to the Jellicent really quickly because it can just be so overwhelming sometimes. Then the combo of the Mew EX and the Clefairy. Clefairy is really in there just for the Dragapult matchup, turning their weakness to Psychic, and then Mew's really strong to draw you some cards. There's a lot of games in the early game where you're going to have to like discard your entire hand and then use Mew to try to pray to draw some cards, which feels like it shouldn't happen that often, but it actually ends up happening a lot. Also, copying attacks like Blood Moon or Saluna is really strong with Mew, and copying Dragapult as well.
And Absol too, right?
Yeah, the deadly combo with Lily's Clefairy and then Mew, and then copying Absol's terminal period is really strong as well. And even copying the second attack is strong at times as well because it puts pressure on them where they can't go after your Gardevoir that turn as well.
Dude, I swear they always have the miss. Oh, by the way, it's a bond. I'm recording, and
No.
They always have the miss. So I'm like, the Mew is still good enough to use the second attack, and like if you can get them on 6-3, or like if you can get to 3-3 essentially, like I feel pretty good about that spot.
Yeah, they always stack the miss super early, which is pretty ridiculous sometimes. The Diancie is really strong against decks like Zoroark and Marnie's Grimmsnarl, and it also is a good card because I like that it discards the energy off of it, because I think some of the issues with Gardevoir at times is that your energy gets stuck in a certain spot, and then if your opponent's good at the game at least, they'll try to keep those energies stuck in place going after different targets like Monkey Dories or Gardevoirs or stuff like that, so that your energy ends up trapped. Pheasantipity really just there to draw you some cards. I've never used that Cruel Arrow attack with this deck, but it's a possibility.
I used it at Milwaukee when I had the Turbo Energize, but
yeah.
It's...
We got the Screamtail to round it out, one of the best cards in the deck. It puts a lot of pressure on the bench. Our deck isn't going to be able to use Boss's Order super aggressively like other decks, so a Charm Screamtail puts in a lot of work, and then also just like Screamtail just in general to like soften stuff up, because the Gardevoir is really a deck where you want to kind of like wipe your opponent in certain turns, so setting up for like those turns is really powerful. Latias is in the deck just because it's so cheesy to get to the turn 1 Frillish against some decks. I've used that Eon Blade quite a bit, though.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I've used it specifically against Golden Go quite a bit, where sometimes you can just race them, where if you're ahead, you can kill them with, like, Latias, Diancie, or some of those other Pokemons, but specifically, like, a Monkey Eon Blade is, like, killing a Golden Go, which sometimes they just can't deal with. Especially if you leave, like, damage on your board, where it's, like, 6 other damages left on the board, where they can't just, like, chase your Guardy and say, I'm just going to leave the Latias, because if they chase a Guardy, then the Eon Blade's going to kill them again. Alright, so now we're going to move to the supporters.
Wait, start back from the top.
This way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I only ended up playing 9 supporter cards. I played 4 Lily, 4 Iono, and 1 Professor's Turo. The 4 Iono combos really well with the deck because you go behind sometimes so often. The Lily is so strong because you're going to be able to find a lot of cards. Just draw 8 in the opening game is just really powerful. Sometimes I wonder if I should play 1 Research, but playing Research with Box in combination is usually really powerful if you can get to the energy in the discard pile. But sometimes it really sucks to have Research in hands where you have like a lot of your good cards where you just have to kind of chuck them away, which is like my main worry for having Research in the deck. And then Turo is like really underrated and really like one of the best cards I would say in the deck. Removing liabilities and like picking up energies when your opponents are like trying to trap your energy in certain places is really strong. Also, getting this Latias dude off the board is pretty good when it's trapping your energies in certain spots.
Especially because you can like get the damage on the Latios, move the damage over the monkey, and then you tear the Latios to fix your board, and you got like 60 free damage for the turn. Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or like in some plays, like where you like want to use like a monkey like another time, and you're trying to clear your board, you can like throw a bunch of energy on the monkey, turtle back up the monkey, and then use like a third monkey to like really like put your opponent in a really bad spot.
Right. The other thing about Turo is like against Absol, like you want to prevent your Fez so bad, but if you don't play Turo, you're gonna get like Evil Tall, and they're gonna like 4-prize turn you. So like
exactly. Yeah, so if you don't have like the Turo, you can get like trapped like pretty easily in like a lot of these matchups, especially like even like a monkey and a miss, they might be able to trap that as well. If like they miss up the Evil Tall and they like start just like trapping like a monkey, it could be pretty.
They don't even need miss because they have the pack, right? So they don't actually need missed even. Yeah. Like they can trap monkey too. Yeah, that's
exactly.
a good point.
Okay.
Go to like left. Yeah.
All right, so we got the 4. Ultra Ball, just consistency card. It's going to find you all the cards you're looking for in your deck, and it combos really well with like discarding energy with like the Psychic Embrace. We have the 3 Vessel. Some lists have played the 4 Vessel at times. Vessel is just a really strong card because it finds you those energy. It might feel weird saying that like discard effects are really powerful in this deck, but just because you want to get those energy into the discard pile, discard effects are just so strong that it even feels better that you have like more discard effects than not.
Well, I also think too, like it's a slept on part is like because this deck has Lily and no research, it's like good to just get like garbage cards out of your deck too. Like otherwise your deck will just be like swimming with like Latias, Second Frillish, all these like random cards you like don't really want.
Exactly, because thinning is going to be something you want to do like throughout the game to like really get to like those higher odds scenarios towards the late game. So if like you're not really playing like cards like research and stuff like the deck used to have in the past, some of these cards that like you really don't want, like Latias is like really strong only like in the early game. So like if you didn't use it in the early game, or if you just like so happen to like start your Frillish or something, you just can toss it. Okay, so for CC, I really liked 2 CC. Some lists are playing 1 CC, but I really like 2 CC because I think it's really strong to trap your opponent in situations where you can go Scream Tail, counter catcher, and specifically when you're like not even knocking stuff out in some situations where you're just like kind of like poking at something to set up for a next turn where you can just like completely just win the game. And then for the stadiums, I have the Mystery Garden in here. I originally had double Artisan, no Mystery Garden in here, but I seen the value of the Mystery Garden. It's really strong, I would say, just to get those energy into the discard pile, because we're not playing research like of the past where we had a lot of ways to kind of like just discard energy, get it in there. Mystery Garden's really good. And then also with my list specifically only playing 8 draw supporters, it kind of felt like a pseudo supporter where if you just have a dead hand, you can kind of draw some more cards. Artisan for sure, it's just like another card that searches out all your Pokemon. Sometimes Artisan sticks as well, so it kind of adds as another nest ball card or another search card for some of your Pokemon. I ended up playing the Watchtower inside the deck, which was solid because I think the main matchup that I was really struggling with the deck was that Charizard matchup. I wasn't really beating good Charizard players with the deck, so I was really struggling with it. So I thought that I would just throw in a Watchtower, and then if I like Secret Box or like Watchtower Iono, I basically just like clip them. Like they're basically not doing much after that unless like they stack into like their 1 of or 2 of Stadium card that they have left in their deck. But there are some situations where they can go like Charmander, like discard it, or if they've loaded up the Pidgeot with 1 energy to discard the Stadium, which could be tricky. But usually in that situation, if you're like able to set up like a 4-price turn like following it, you're usually in a fine spot.
Well, it's also pretty good against this Absol deck too, right? Because they like often try to use the bear to kill like a Fez at the end, and they also like rely on Kang so heavily, so it's pretty good against that.
It actually won me a few games against the Grimmsnarl deck because they would like preload the the bear with the energy so that they could try to win with a bear boss at the like late game or a bear counter catcher even. So then I would just go like Secret Box, Watchtower Iono, and then
CC.
and then they'd be cooked. All right, so then the other one was 2 Bravery Charms. I played 1 Devo before the tournament. Devo's really strong into the Lopunny builds, I thought. Because you don't really have an efficient way to deal with the Lopunny, but then after I seen what had happened at the Australian regional, of all things. I seen that most lists were playing the Cramorants and the Mawwiles, and I thought that most of the European players would also play Mawile because they traditionally play secret box builds in Mawile, not the Lopunny builds. So I thought that it would be fine just to add a second Bravery Charm because you're not really Devoing too much. And also when I played the list at Toronto, I didn't use Devo all that often. I used it one time to beat a Sarah Ledge, but like that's kind of it. It's sometimes good in the mirror match, but I kind of realized that mirror match usually is just a scam fest with the Jellicent in the early game. So Devo, like, it sometimes can get you back into the game if you're really trailing, but like usually if you get whoever gets the first Jelly out of the mirror match is usually gonna win.
Well, that makes sense why you were saying you were Latiasing more, because, like, obviously when I played this deck, I was always playing the Devo, and, like, I would always try to go for the Frillish Devo play, but, like, yeah, I mean, Latias, if you use Frillish to just, like, stall them and get enough monkey damage on board that you can prize trade them, like, that makes sense, too.
Yeah, exactly. Then we got 2 copies of the Nest Ball. Some of the lists play 3. It's a little bit greedy to play 2. Nest Ball is just a really good card. I usually use a Nest Ball to get like cards like Pheasantipity into play because getting Pheasantipity on board draw is usually really powerful in the deck. 2 Night Stretchers and 1 Super Rod are going to be the ways that we really try to recover our cards. It really sucks that a lot of decks were playing Toad Scroll. These Night Stretchers weren't getting a lot of value, especially against these Absol decks that were playing the Toad Scroll. But Super Rod's really strong, and Night Stretcher is really strong just in general because it just finds you the exact card you need at times. And then the card that really puts the deck all together is the Secret Box. Being able to find, first off, like we talked a lot about like discard effects. Discard effects work really well with this deck because it just combos so well with Psychic Embrace as well and thinning your deck. Secret Box is just really strong because it finds you like the exact supporter or supporter, stadium, tool, and item that you're looking for. So like if you find this card, basically you almost guarantee that you have like a rare Candy Garde going on. And
like you're gonna have the perfect turn, right? Like that's like the best part about Secret Box. Like if you draw Secret Box, you're gonna do like what you want to that turn, which is like
exactly
so good. And the other thing is it combos really well with this Turo, because like if you're just playing the naked Turo, it's so hard to find on the turn you need it.
Turn you need it, exactly. Especially like with these like specific cards where you're like playing the Turo or like the one of Watchtower or the one of Garden or the one of Artisan. These kind of cards are like you're going to be looking through these cards like a needle in a haystack at times. So with this card, it's like another card that just is like if you run into this card, you find all these cards. Usually I use this card as well to get CC at times as well. Or like perfectly timed Iono is usually great. And then for the energy cards, we ended up playing 3 Dark Energy. I comboed that well because you were playing the 3 Monkey Dory, so not really going to need 4 for this list. And then 7 of the Psychic Energy. Some lists play 8, but if you're playing 8, I would probably say that you're more of a Screamtail, Lux Cape type build that's like kind of running around. For the Jelly build, I've been really liking the 7 energies of right now.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think without the extra tools, I mean with a 2 charm build, maybe 8 Psychic makes sense, but I think most Jelly lists are 7's like totally fine. Yeah, well anyway, thanks guys. That has our deck profile. That's Kyle. And yeah, see you guys later.